Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm super excited today because it's time for another Lawn Fawn Fans Hop. This is a group of friends of mine who also do YouTube videos and love Lawn Fawn. So we've come together to bring you some fall inspiration using Lawn Fawn products. I am going to be using this pumpkin house die set. I have been wanting a pumpkin house since the mushroom house, the acorn house. I am so excited to play with this. Here are all the things that I die cut out for my card today. I decided to go with a non-traditional pumpkin color. I have gotten a light blue pumpkin from the pumpkin patch before and it's my favorite, so that's what I decided to do for my house. I'm also using the mushroom border die set to accent my little scene today using some fall colors. I'm using this brand new Scripty Autumn Sentiment set. I love this. I think this is a perfect addition to any fall themed stamp sets and die cuts that you already have. I'm using Y17 to color this out and YR04. I want a leaf that's kind of changing colors. I did this to all the leaves and then decided I needed a little bit darker of a color, so I'm going to bring in a third color, which is YR18, and add that to the base of all of these leaves and blend that out a little bit with the YR4. And there you can see all the leaves, all colored. Now I'm going to die cut these out with the coordinating dies. I had to show you this because the die that cuts out the Scripty word, so beautiful, and it's a lot easier to line up than I thought it would be. And I just love this look with the really thin letters, and it's die cut out so close. Very cool. I'm bringing in one of my favorite Lawn Fawn sets, Let's Go Nuts, because I love squirrels. I have loved them since I was little and watched them at my grandparents' house and fed them. We have them on our back hill in our yard, so I had to go with some little squirrels to accent my scene today. I decided to use this little guy that's pulling the wagon. I'm coloring him out with E13 as my lightest. My darkest is E19 for a touch of reddish brown. I'm going to bring those two colors together with E15 and really blend out that dark color, and then I'll go over the whole thing again with the E13. And I actually did end up going over the whole entire squirrel one more time with the two lightest colors. And I did the same thing on that little sleeping squirrel. He's holding his little acorns. It's so cute. And then I thought I'd show you how I colored out the acorn. So E13 for the bottom part, and then E25 and E27 for the acorn cap. That's how I colored all the acorns on these images. Next, I'm using the same orange colors, YR18 as the darkest for my wagon, YR04 for my midtone, and I did use just a tiny bit of that yellow color, Y17 for the center. I used a tonal or neutral gray 5 on the wagon's handle, and then I did color out the little scarf, but I didn't end up using it. I wanted this tiny little extra leaf, so I'd have 5 leaves on the front of my card. So there you can see all the images die cut out with the coordinating dies. And now we need to create the background for the card. So I have some spiced marmalade I'm bringing up from the bottom of my card and letting it get lighter, and then I'm bringing fossilized amber in, blending that with the lightest part of that orange and working its way up towards the top of the card, letting it get lighter. Now I'm going to splatter this, so I don't need my coverage on that yellow to be absolutely solid. I'm okay if it's lighter in some areas. I feel like that's more of a natural look for the sky. Now this is my liquid Stardust from Lawn Fawn. When it got really low, I added a little bit of water to it, and it is the perfect consistency for splatter, and I feel like I didn't waste any of that little bit of shimmer that was left at the bottom. So I just splattered that across the top after I had spritzed it with water, and I have a really cool background with those water droplet splatters and the liquid Stardust. Love it. All right, so here's the pieces I had die cut with the mushroom border. I snipped them apart because The pumpkin's going to be in the center, so I just wanted like 3 on each end of my little grassy hill. And then once I have those where I want them, I can snip off the excess I don't need and then glue on the little mushroom caps. These are cut from some kind of rust colored cardstock, and I'm just loving that in place of red for the fall scene that I'm trying to create today. All right, so now I wanted the edge of the grass to stand out a little bit, and I thought of this after I'd glued everything together, so I couldn't, do some ink blending on it. So I just brought in my YG03 Copic marker and touched up the edge of that to help it stand out just a little bit. Now I can attach that to the edge of my card. I'm not pressing down on it too much because I want to put the pumpkin behind it a little bit. So now it's time to work on the pumpkin house. I'm using BG13 to add some shadows to this, going right over the top of my colored cardstock with my Copic markers. And then I also brought in BG32 to soften out the edges. This is a little bit lighter color, still coordinates really well with my cardstock, and I did the bottom of the pumpkin as well. Now I need to cut the windows into my pumpkin, so I'm using this open window, and I'll die cut this on both sides. Next, I'm going to trace the window in the door because I want to cut that out too, because I am making a light up card. So I just used my scissors to poke through the paper and then cut around the part that I had traced with my pencil. And now I'm going to set this on my card. I'm not gluing it down yet, and trace the windows so I know where to poke the hole for the light, so I can see my traced windows, and then just use my paper piercer to pierce a hole, and that's where my little easy lights are gonna go. Next, I need to add a window to the back of these openings, so I'm gluing down a piece of vellum, and this is going to help diffuse the light a little bit so it's not so bright in your eye. Next, I can add my die cut window frames, which I die cut from white cardstock, and then the door as well. I love the white on top of this kind of teal, light teal color. So pretty. All right, so next I'm adding my pumpkin house back in. I'm going to go behind the mushrooms and try to line up those pierced holes with my windows. And that is pretty easy to do because it's kind of a dark spot where the hole is. Now I'm adding on my extras to my pumpkin, the brown stem, the little vines, or I think they're called tendrils, and then a leaf as well. Now I did die cut both of the leaves for this, but in the end I only used one of them, which is the smaller of the two, and I popped that up. Here are the little stone walkway or steps. I don't know, they're really cute. I added a brown doorknob, and now it's time to add my little critters. I'm popping all of them up with a foam square except the one little acorn that fell out of the wagon. I decided to add a little shadowing with my E13 onto my little terracotta pot with flowers that I added. I did die cut 2 of those too and only ended up using 1. Now I'm taking this Papercrafting magic stamp set, stamping the word push on my leaf. I know Lawn Fawn has a stamp set that has these too. This is just the one that I have. And because I had all my leaves and my word layered out, I went ahead and took the opportunity to stamp my fun filled, so I knew, where I wanted it to go and how everything was going to fit on there. And then I just glued everything in place. I did back my word gratitude with some extra die cut so it pops up a little bit. Now I'm getting out my easy lights. I have 1 set of easy lights. It has this mechanism on it that you slide the battery in. You just want to line up the plus symbols. And then I'm going to figure out where I want that push to go and mark it on the back. Now I felt like my lights were going to be too bright. I had kind of practiced with them, so I added a second layer of vellum on the back to help diffuse the lights a little bit. The vellum that I'm using was quite thin. And then you just take the easy lights. There's a yellow side to the end of these. That's the side you're going to tape to the hole. You just use Scotch tape. These are LED lights, so they're not going to get hot. And then I like to test mine out before I tape everything in place. You put the little red button on the back of your push spot and then tape everything down. It is that easy. I'm not kidding. They're so fun and so easy to do. Next, you want to use some doubly thick foam tape. Now this is Heffy Doodle foam tape and it already comes double thick, so I didn't have to double it up myself. And then I peeled off all the backing and added that to my 5x7 card base, and then you can see the lights work really well. So on the inside, I'm stamping "For Friends Like You," and I wanted something cute in there too, so I brought out this teeny tiny acorn stamp set and stamped the acorn and the coordinating leaf. And then I'll color these out just the same as I colored the images that are smaller, but this one I can add a little face to my pumpkin. So you can see I'm adding the E17 to the detail part of the stamp, and I also brought in R21 to add a little pink for cheeks and to the tongue. There are dies to go with this teeny tiny stamp set, so I used those to cut them out. I'm going to add the acorn right underneath my sentiment, and then there is a sentiment in the Let's Go Nuts set, the one with the squirrels, that I thought would be really fun to add in here to give this card a little touch of humor, because I like that. And this is going to be made specifically for one of my friends, and so I know that it will make her smile. And it says, "When life gets nutty," is what it says next to that acorn. Now I wanted my pumpkin house to have some warts on it. I think that having a really textured pumpkin like that is so cool. So I brought out these little baubles. I believe these are mint green. They're from Trinity Stamps. They have them in a ton of colors, as you can see there on the left. And now my pumpkin has some warts. It lights up and it says, "For friends like you when life gets nutty. Filled with gratitude for friends like you when life gets nutty." I love it. Now you guys have got to make sure that you hop along with the rest of the Lawn Fawn fans and see the amazing creations they made. And as with all of our hops, it is being sponsored, and this time by Lawn Fawn. They are giving away a $25 shopping spree to their shop. So make sure that you leave comments on all the videos as you hop along with us to be entered to win. We are going to be announcing the winner of our hop in 1 week, and you can check back here on my channel, and that will be the 23rd, and we'll announce who wins that $25 shopping spree. Thanks so much for stopping by, and happy stamping. Bye.